So as I've told you in the previous lecture that while performing observation through theodolite, you have to keep face left and face right position. So for the first time you will do the observation with face left, and then with the face right, and then you have to take the average value of these two angles. That will give you the angle AOB. Okay. So in this way you can calculate the horizontal angle with the help of your theodolite. Okay. The next method which is involved in your horizontal angle is called as a repetition method. In this method, what you have to do is that you have to uh, measure the same angle number of times. So, okay, suppose this is the angle, you have measuring it angle, suppose the value is coming out to be 30. Okay, again you will have to bring this 30 over here, and you will have to measure the angle. This will give you the angle 60. Okay, again you will have to measure this angle, suppose this is 60 over here and this is 90. Okay, so you are adding number of angles. Okay, and in order to get the value of the angle, you will have to divide the sum by what, 3. That will give you the exact value of horizontal angle. Okay, with at least 3 repetitions. So you have to perform what, 3 repetition, and you will have to also do what, again make observation with the help of face left, and again you will have to make observation with face right, and you have to get the average of both the value. Suppose there is an angle AOB, as I've told you. Suppose this is an angle which has been required. Okay, this is your point O. Is to be measured by the repetition method. The theodolite is set up. The theodolite has been set up at point O. The instrument is centered on 11, and the vernier A is set to 0, and the vernier B at 180 degree. Now the upper clamp is fixed and the lower one is loosened, and you will have to bring the telescope towards A. You will bisect the point A perfectly. Then you will what, fix the lower clamp. Okay. Now you have got the reading at vernier at 0. So in order to measure this angle AOB, you will have to what, release the upper clamping screw. Upper clamp screw has been loosened, and the telescope is turned clockwise to perfectly bisect the ranging rod at B. Then you will bisect the ranging rod at B. Suppose the angle which has been coming out is coming out to be what, at 30. So you will have to, you are getting the first angle is coming out to be 30. Okay, now you will have to bring this 30 towards this point. Okay, so how you can bring that 30 toward at point A? For that you will have to fix what, your upper clamping screw. You will have to lose your lower clamping screw. That will do what, it will fix the vernier at 30. Okay, and you have to turn this and bring at it. So the 30 value will be showing at point A now, and then again you will have to release the upper clamping screw and again measure the angle. Suppose the angle is coming out to be what, obviously first angle is coming out to be 30, the second will be coming out to be 60. Then again fix the upper clamping screw, release the lower clamping screw, bring this 60 angle at point A. Okay, then again release the upper clamping screw, measure this angle, the angle is coming out to suppose 90 degree. Okay, this way at least 3 repetition is done. You can see over here there is a diagram shown in this. And initially the angle was what, 0. You have measured the angle, it was coming out to be 30. Then this 30 has been brought back to what, point A. Okay, then again the angle is been measured, the angle is coming out to be 60. Then you will have to bring this 60 at point A. Okay, then 90. Okay, so in this way your repetition method has been done. Okay, and this is how you will have to make the observation. You can see that over here the angle AOB has been given with face left position, and angle AOB is been given with the face right position. Okay, the reading on vernier initially was 0, at B it was 180 degree, after that at 30 degree 20 minute 20 second, and at B was 210 degree 20 minute 40 second, and this is the reading with face right observation. Okay, angle you can calculate. The angle at A is coming out to be 30, angle at B is coming out to be 30. Okay, in this way you have to take the mean value, so the final value is coming out to be this. So this is how you can perform your iteration method. This method is suitable when several angles are to be measured from a single station. So generally iteration method is adopted when you have to measure a number of angles from a same position. Okay, so you can adopt iteration method over there. In this method all the angles are measured successfully, and finally the horizon has been closed. Okay, so the final reading of the 1 minute. Okay, so the final reading of the leading vernier is equally disturbed among all the observed angle. It is a large. If it is large, the reading should be cancelled, and new set can be taken. So if there is any error because of number of observation, you can distribute it among that angles. Okay, okay, and if it is very large, error is very large, you will have to what, again perform the same thing. Okay, so in this way you are performing your iteration. Sorry, this is your repetition method. Okay, over here. So in this repetition method, what you have to do, you have got these three values. So what you have to do, you will have to what, accumulate this angle. So you can see that this is the formula given in order to calculate the angle. So for this you have to do what, you have to take the final reading. Okay, the final reading was coming out to be 90 degree, and how many observations you have made? You have made 3 observations, so you will divide 90 by 3. That will give you the actual angle of AOB. Okay, so this is your repetition method. Hope it is clear to all. Then after repetition method, there is another method that is called as your iteration method. Okay, I thought it was a repetition method, but that is not your repetition method. This is your iteration method. Okay, the next method which is used to measure the horizontal angle. Okay, now this method is suitable when several angles are measured from a single station. Okay, so iteration method is adopted when you have to make number observation with the help from station 1. In this method, all the angles are measured successfully and finally the horizon has been closed. So you can see there is a diagram shown over here. So for iteration method, you can see this, there is a diagram over here. You can see that there is this is the point O where you are keeping your theodolite, and you can see that from here you are measuring angle AOB, you are measuring angle BOC, you are measuring angle COA. So you are taking number of observations from a single station, and finally you have started with point A and you are finally closing at point A, that you are completing the horizon. So this method is called as your iteration method. Okay, and now what you have to do in this iteration method is that the same thing you have to adopt. First you will have to set up the instrument at point O. Okay, you will have to perform all the temporary adjustment over there. Okay, then you will bring the vernier A at 0, vernier B at 180 degree. Okay, after fixing your upper clamping screw and fixing your lower clamping screw and releasing your upper clamping screw. After that, when the vernier is at 0, what you have to do, that fix the upper clamp and release the lower clamp and bring the telescope at point A. Okay, and bisect the ranging rod at A. Okay, once A has been bisected, now you have to measure this angle. So what you have to do, you have to release your upper clamping screw and then bisect the ranging rod at B, and whatever the angle is coming out to be, you will have to measure that angle. Okay, that will give you the angle AOB. Okay, again you can now bring your vernier at A at 0 at point B also, or you can add that angle to this, so you can finally get the value total 360 degree, because it is completing the horizon. It will give you the value of total 360 degree. Okay, so this is your iteration method. It is generally adopted when you have to take number of observation from a single station. Okay, this is the diagram for your iteration method. After that, the last method which has been involved in your theodolite surveying is your measuring of vertical angle. As I have told you, generally your theodolite is also used for what, both the type of angle. It is used for horizontal angle as well as vertical angle. Okay, and the vertical angle, as I've told you, it is generally measured with the help of the vertical circle which is provided on the face left and face right observation. Okay, so for that, what you have to do is what, when you keep your telescope perfectly horizontal, okay, the vertical circle will exactly show the reading of what, 0 degree. Okay, on vernier circle it is only possible to measure an angle up to 90 degree. Okay, you cannot measure angle more than 90 degree in case of your vertical circle. Okay, after that, what you have to do, you have to bring the telescope perfectly horizontal. That will indicate 0 degree on vernier C. In vertical circle you have got 2 verniers which is called as vernier C and vernier D. Okay, both the value will show 0 degree. Now what you have to do, you have to fix the instrument at point O perfectly level your instrument so that your vernier is at C is what becoming 0. After that, you will take an observation at above the line of sight. Suppose this is your line of sight, you are taking observation above the line of sight, and you have to measure this angle. Okay, so this angle is called as the angle of elevation because you are measuring it above your level line. That is why it is called as the angle of elevation. Okay, next one, the angle which has been measured below the level line, it is called as the angle of depression. Okay, so two angles can be measured in vertical angle. One, it is called as the angle of elevation, it is above the line of sight, and one is called as the angle of depression if it is below the line of sight. Okay, in this way you can calculate your vertical angle. This is the theoretical part. I have explained it in very short. After this, we'll see what the permanent adjustment of your theodolite. Okay, so we'll start with the permanent adjustment of theodolite. So as I've told you that whenever you shift your instrument to a new station, you will have to perform temporary adjustment. Okay, that is desired to make the line of sight perfectly horizontal. But because of excessive use of the instrument and because of the rough handling of the instrument, sometimes the principles or the fundamental lines of the theodolite get disturbed. Okay, and these fundamental line when get disturbed, you will have to perform what permanent adjustment for that. Okay, so how you will understand whether you have to perform permanent adjustment or not? For that, you have to understand the desired relationship between the various axes of your theodolite. Okay, so the fundamental lines which have been provided in your theodolite is, one is your vertical axis, okay, along which your telescope revolve in horizontal plane. Then the axis of the plate, okay, that is the axis of the plate. The line of the collimation, is the line which is passing from the center of the object glass and the center of the eyepiece. Okay, horizontal axis. So this is the vertical line, this is the horizontal axis, and the bubble line. As I've told you, at the top of the telescope, your bubble is been provided, and the line which is tangent to that bubble is called as your bubble line. Okay, these are the some basic line or the fundamental lines in your theodolite, and these lines have certain relation among them. Okay, so we'll see the relation. What are the desired relation between the fundamental lines? Firstly, the axis of the plate level must be perpendicular to the vertical axis. So the axis of the plate level, this is the axis of the plate level, it should be perpendicular to the vertical axis. Okay, then the line of collimation should coincide with the optical axis of the telescope. So this is the line of collimation which is passing from the center of the telescope, and this is also the axis of the telescope. So the axis of the telescope and the line of collimation should exactly coincide with each other. Then the axis of the telescope must be parallel to the line of collimation. Okay, obviously they are coinciding, so they must be parallel also. The line of collimation must be perpendicular to the horizontal axis. Okay, so this is your horizontal axis, and this is the line of collimation. So it should be perpendicular. The line of collimation must be perpendicular to the horizontal axis, and the vertical circle should read 0 when the line of collimation is horizontal. So these are certain desired relationship which need to be maintained. If any one of this has been disturbed, you will have to perform the temporary adjustment. Okay, so we'll see one by one how to do. So the first one is to make the axis of the plate level perpendicular to the vertical axis. So plate level axis should be perpendicular to the vertical axis. The following procedure is adopted to the first adjustment. So for that, you will have to perform the temporary adjustment similar to your leveling. As I've told you, in leveling, what you have to do is that you have to keep the telescope parallel to. Firstly, you will have to perform what the theodolite 3 tripods. You have got your 3 legs of the tripod. So for you will firmly fix the 2 legs in the ground, and you will move the third leg approximately so as to bring the bubble at the center. That is the approximate leveling with the help of your tripod stand. Then you do the permanent adjustment of leveling with the help of what? With the help of your foot screws. So first you will bring the telescope parallel to the 2 foot screw, turn it inwardly or outwardly till your bubble is coming to the center. Then you will have to keep the telescope perpendicular to the third foot screw, and you will have to turn your telescope inward or outward till it is coming to the center. You will turn the telescope through 180-degree, and you will check whether at every point your bubble is coming to the center or not. If it is coming center, that means the plate level is perpendicular to the vertical axis, and you don't have to do any kind of adjustment. If it is not coming, then you will have to perform certain adjustment. So how you will adjust, you will have to divide it into two parts. That error, whichever error has been coming, whatever the error is coming, that is divided into two parts. One division has been covered with the help of what? With the help of a capstan head screw provided in the theodolite. That screws has been released, and it is turned till the bubble is coming. It's been adjusted to the division, and the remaining half is done with the help of the approximate leveling with the help of foot screws only. Okay, this is how you can perform your permanent adjustment in case when you have to make the axis of the plate level perpendicular to the vertical axis. Okay, this is the first observation, first desired relation. The next one is to make the line of collimation coincide with the optical axis of the telescope. So when the line, the second relation is that the line of collimation should be coinciding with the optical axis of the telescope. First the horizontal and then the vertical hair is adjusted. So in this you have to perform two adjustments. First the horizontal and then the vertical hair are to be adjusted. So how you can do this? So first we'll start with the horizontal hair. Three pegs are driven into the ground. T, A and B at a known distance apart. So we will fix three pegs. One is T, A and B at a known distance apart. The theodolite is set up at T, and after proper adjustment the staff reading are taken at A and B. So from T you will take the reading at A, from T you will take the reading at B. So the reading, suppose at A is capital A small a, and the reading at B is what? Capital B is B1. Next one, by transiting the theodolite, the staff reading are taken on A and B. Now what you will do, you will have to transit the theodolite. So transiting is nothing but turning the telescope through 180 degree is called as transiting. So you have to turn the telescope, okay, by 180 degree, and then again you will have to take the observation, the reading at A and B. So suppose the reading is coming out to be what? A. Suppose the reading is coming out to be A and B. Next one, if the readings on the second observation tallies with those of the first, horizontal hair is an adjustment. So what you have to do is that you have taken the first reading, okay, the reading was coming out to be capital A small a and capital B B1, and suppose after transiting you are again taking the observation at A and B. These two readings are suppose matching, this A reading are matching, this B1 reading is matching, then that means your horizontal hair is perfectly adjusted and it does not require any kind of adjustment. Okay, if it is not, what you have to do, suppose if the second observation gives you a new reading, suppose these readings are not matching, this A is not matching, this B1 is not matching, then what you have to do, suppose the reading is coming out to be BB2, then the horizontal hair requires an adjustment. So if these readings differs, so what you have to do, you will have to do the adjustment for your horizontal hair. Okay, so this is the diagram where you can see that this is the point T where your instrument has been kept at a known distance apart. A is the point where the first reading has been taken, B is the second point where the second reading has been taken. Okay, now this was for your horizontal hair. Now you will have to do this for your adjustment for the vertical hair. So for vertical hair, what you have to do is that the theodolite is set up at T. Okay, now the instrument has been set up at point T. After proper leveling, and a ranging rod is fixed at A by looking through the telescope, keeping the upper and lower clamp fixed. Now what you have to do is that with the help of telescope, you will fix a ranging rod at point A. Next, now by transiting the telescope, the ranging rod at B has been fixed. Now you were seeing on this side, suppose point A has been fixed, then you will turn the telescope by 180 degree and you will fix another point which is B. Okay, now the upper clamp is loosened, and by turning the vernier plate, the ranging rod at A is again bisected. Now you will have to do what? We are releasing the upper clamp, even turning the telescope in not vertical plane, but in the horizontal plane, turning the telescope, swinging it basically, swing the telescope and bring back it to the point A. Okay, so the upper clamp is loosened, and by turning the vernier plate, the ranging rod again at A is bisected. If the ranging rod at B is seen bisected after transiting the telescope, the vertical hair is perfect. So what you have to do that first you are fixing the theodolite at here, then you are fixing a ranging rod at point A, then transiting the instrument, okay, by 180 degree, then you are fixing a point B. Again, what you have to do then, with the help of releasing the upper clamping screw, you're turning the telescope and again bisecting A, and again transiting what, the point B. If it is been seeing that exactly after transiting B, after transiting your telescope by 180 degree, if B is matching exactly with the first observation, that means your vertical circle is in perfect adjustment and does not require any kind of adjustment. Okay, so if the ranging rod at B is bisected after transiting the telescope, the vertical hair is perfect and there is no need of what, any type of adjustment. If not, the amount of error is noted down. So if the reading is not coming out to be same, then what you have to do, the amount of error has been noted down, let BB1 be the total error. So suppose the error is coming out to be what, BB1. So this is your B first point, this is your second one, this is your B1. Now how to adjust this? A position is marked by the ranging rod at B where BB1 is 1/4 of the total error. So you will have to do what? Take the 1/4 of the error BB1, okay, and mark the point over there. Okay, you can see that this BB1 is this distance. Whatever the distance is coming out to be, you will have to take the 1/4 part and then mark it from B. Okay, so this has been marked. Then the vertical hair is shifted by turning the horizontal diaphragm screw. So then you will, with the help of screws, you will have to adjust your vertical hair, okay, to bisect the ranging rod at B dash. So the ranging rod at B dash has been bisected. During the adjustment, 1/4 of the total error is taken into consideration because the actual error is magnified 4 times of the telescope was turned twice the vertical plane. Because you have turned the telescope twice, that is why it has been taken as 4 times. Okay, so this is the adjustment of your vertical hair. Okay, so whenever you perform what, in order to see this relation perfect, you will have to do what, both the adjustment, that is one adjustment is done in your horizontal hand here and the second one has been done for your vertical here, okay, to make the line of collimation coincide with the optical axis of the telescope. Okay, then last one is what, the third adjustment is to make the horizontal axis, this is your horizontal axis, perpendicular to the vertical axis. So this should be what, perfectly 90 degrees of vertical axis, as well as the horizontal axis should be what, perpendicular to each other. For that, what you have to do is that the theodolite has been set up at point T, some distance away from pole P. So you can see that this is a pole P and it has been fixed at some distance from the theodolite T. The plate bevel is perfectly level. The plate bevel, you have to level it perfectly. Look through the telescope. A well-defined point A has been marked on the pole. So after the plate level is perfectly level, looking through the telescope, a well-defined point A has been marked on the pole. So you will have to what, mark the position of point A on the pole. Then the upper and the lower clamp screws are fixed. You will fix the upper and the lower clamping screw. The telescope is lowered and another point B has been marked. Then you will mark another point B on that particular pole. Okay, this is point B. Now the upper clamp is loosened and what you have to do, you will release the upper clamping screw and turn the telescope by 180 degree. Okay, to 180 degree by transiting it. So by transiting it means what, you are turning the telescope in this way. You're turning the telescope in this way. Okay, not in the horizontal plane but in the vertical plane. Okay, then mark again, the mark is again bisected at A. Again you will have to what, after transiting you are turning the telescope and then again you are marking what, point A, and you are again marking at point B. The telescope is then lowered. It has been if the line of sight bisect exactly B, then the adjustment is perfect. So what you are doing, you are basically checking when you are firstly you are marking point A on the pole, then secondly you are by lowering your telescope, then you are marking the point B, then you are turning the telescope by 180 degrees, and again you mark A again and B. It should exactly match at B, okay? But if it is matching at B, that means your instrument is perfect. If it is not, then you will have to perform what adjustment, okay? So for adjustment, what you are doing is that if not, another point B dash is marked on the ranging rod, are at the same level at B. So suppose this was the point A and B, okay? The B point is not coming exactly at this point, so you will mark another point as B dash over there, okay? Now A and C are marked midway between B and B dash. So what you have to do, that this is B and this is B dash. In between that you will have to mark a point, okay? Midway between B and B dash. The point C is bisected by the telescope and the upper clamp is then tightened. Now you will do what? You will lower your telescope and bisect point C. Okay, C point has been bisected. The telescope is now raised. Then this time the line of sight will not bisect A. You are bisecting what? Point C. Then you will raise a point at point A, so it will not exactly match with A. So the adjustment end of the horizontal axis is raised. So after that you will adjust the horizontal axis is raised or lowered until the line of sight is bisect the marking. So you will have to adjust the horizontal axis until your A has been bisected. Once the A has been bisected, that means your permanent adjustment has been completed, okay? This procedure is performed several times until you get the perfect conditions, okay?